Okay, so I'm gonna put this at the beginning before I do my intro. If anybody wants to skip this episode, I'll be okay with that because episode is just gonna be me talking to people in camp and giving gifts. So that's it. So if you want to skip to the next one, I'll be doing Return to Ostagar. So that's all I wanted to say. Hello everyone, my name is Zoe Hawk and welcome back to another episode of Dragon Age Origins. So we finished, in the last episode, we finished Paragon of her kind. So now all we have is the Earl of Redcliffe. So I'm not going to do that yet. We still have a bunch of side quests. I think we can get them done pretty quickly. The Denerim quests, I will be waiting until we do the All of Redcliffe. But Blackstone Regulars, all the ones that we can do just around and going back and forth and stuff, I'm going to do those today. But first, I wanted to talk to some of the companions, because we haven't been doing that, and I don't want to miss. I mean, we're gonna miss some, of course, but I don't want to miss what I can't. I don't want to miss what I don't have to. So I'm gonna talk to. Let's start with Shale, and then we'll go around and talk to everybody else. So here we go.
Shale of House Kadash. Is that who I once was? I find this difficult to believe.
You're tall for a dwarf. Are you doubting Ferelden now? You think the name's a coincidence? I don't find it difficult to believe at all. Are you doubting Ferelden?
No, I do not doubt him. I simply cannot remember. If I was this Shale of House Kadash, as Ferelden said, there must be some evidence of my existence remaining. I must find it.
You think something will trigger your memory? Perhaps there are records in Orzammar. You need further proof? Why? You think something will trigger your memory?
I need to know that this is the truth, and not simply believe. What Ferelden said, it has allowed me to remember one thing. I believe I know where Kadash Taig is.
Isn't that proof right there? We can go there if you like. Are you certain about this? We have the Blight to deal with, Shale. We can go there if you like.
Its offer is appreciated. I will mark the location on its map. If we can journey there soon, I am most curious as to what we will find.
Okay, so we got that quest. Another one to add on to the pile. Let's talk to her again.
I have a question for it, if it will indulge me. It chose to side with Ferelden and destroy the Anvil of the Void. I agree with its decision, and yet the Paragon Branca was the reason it ventured into the Deep Roads. Why did it choose to defy her? It could not have known for certain that Ferelden would be able to assist it with the dwarves.
I was willing to risk it. It was the right thing to do. Branca was insane. I wasn't siding with her. You believed in Ferelden. I wasn't going to let you down. I don't know, really. I went with my gut. Branca was insane. I wasn't siding with her.
Truly. It seems a little mad itself. At any rate, I wanted to thank it. It gave Ferelden the end he wanted, and I'm pleased to have been a part of it. I will have to think on Ferelden's words to me. It was a great deal to absorb, but for now, let us go on.
Disapproves 5? Why? Maybe I should have said it was the right thing to do.
It speaks.
Okay, I have some questions.
It doesn't have better things to do.
Are those crystals in your skin? I'm told you killed your former master. How did you end up in Hanley? Do you remember? You watched that village day and night for years. So you're female. I had no idea. So you watched that village day and night for years?
I do not sleep, so yes, and I thank it for reminding me. Try to imagine, if it will, what it would be like to be surrounded by nothing but boring peasants, all oblivious to it.
Sounds like you were a bit of a voyager? Oh, I'm sure it was more interesting than that. Yes, that would be rather horrid. That one.
And then there were the birds. A whole village full of pigeons and ravens and sparrows all perching on me day in and day out.
That's what they do. They're birds. Sounds like it sounds a little messy. Yes, your bird thing. Sounds messy.
Those foolish villagers would spread birdseed near me, drawing the birds, because they thought having birds perch on me was quaint. Quaint! If there hadn't been the occasional kind soul to scour me clean, I don't care to discuss this anymore.
Yeah, sorry about that, Shale.
It speaks.
You know what? I have a bird thing too. In the morning, in springtime, when the birds are chirping and everything, they drive me nuts. I'm not a morning person, and they are so loud. They drive me nuts. I yell out the window, "Shut up!" Anyways, I have some questions.
It doesn't have better things to do.
Don't seem to like humans much. How did you end up in Hanleaf? Do you remember?
Oh yes, that I remember quite well. My former master, the Mage Wilhelm, he brought me. As I recall, he had acquired some position with whatever lord ruled the land. I, being little more than a glorified possession at the time, was brought along. Oh, how he enjoyed impressing the villagers with me. Gollum snarl at that villager there, be fearsome. And of course, I would have to do it.
I would have thought you'd enjoy scaring humans, but why were you out in front of that tower? You didn't like this Wilhelm, I take it. You remember anything before Hanleaf? Interesting, I'm done talking about that. I thought you would enjoy scaring humans.
I'd have happily stomped them all into paste, and then ripped down their little houses and stomped on them, too. In fact, after 30 years of watching them, I'd do it twice. What I didn't like was being ordered to do it. Dangled in front of those frightened morons like some scary thing. Once I was a statue, it took those villagers years before they'd even approach me. The first one to actually work up the nerve to touch me urinated himself. Ugh.
But why were you out in front of that tower? You didn't like this Wilhelm, I take it? Okay. I'm gonna go up to down. Okay. So, but why were you out in front of the tower?
That is where Wilhelm kept me. He wanted me out in the open where I could be frightening like a scarecrow. I was supposed to watch for thieves. Pah! Plus, his wife didn't want me indoors. She said there wasn't room for me. Hag.
His wife?
I was once larger, 10 feet tall. Then the loathsome hag complained that I couldn't fit through the doors. So the mage had me shrunk down. Can it believe it? And she still wanted me out.
How does someone shrink a golem?
With a chisel. And a lot of nerve.
Well, you didn't like him, I take it.
He did love using that control rod. Fondled it so much, his wife actually threatened to throw it in the lake. Ha! I would have liked to have seen that. Which reminds me, where did it find the rod? Did it pay a great deal for it?
Not really. It was quite the bargain. Wilhelm's wife sold it, I believe. Oh yes, a fortune, in fact. I've never said this, and I think she'd like it. I'm gonna say it.
Good. Clearly, I am worth it.
You are, Shell. You are worth it. So do you remember anything before Hanleaf?
I traveled with the mage. He did a lot of traveling, I remember that. But where we went? It is rather fuzzy. I remember great battles, fighting many humans long ago. They were all very soft and squishy. And before that, No, there are only images. I was somewhere dark.
Interesting. Done asking about that.
Good. I was just about done talking about it. It does like to have a good chat now and again, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It speaks.
Okay, another question?
It doesn't have better things to do.
Let's see. Crystals in your skin. You killed your former master. How did Wilhelm come to acquire you?
That part I know, as Wilhelm often bragged about it to whomever was willing to listen to him. He claimed to have found me in the deep roads. I was in the ruins of a Tig, he said, deactivated, with my control rod not far away.
You don't know why you were there? What was Wilhelm doing in the deep roads? Do you know where in the deep roads this was? So if he hadn't found you... do you know where it was?
No. That secretive bastard refused to tell me. I would ask and ask, but no. He used to say that one day, if I were compliant and didn't talk back at his wife, he would take me there and I could look around myself. Rotten, lying bastard. If I had his head in my hands now, I would squeeze it like a giant lemon. Squish.
So if he hadn't found you...
I wouldn't have had to put up with the twit. and I would be none the wiser. I don't think I was aware while I was there. Not like in the village. Or perhaps I was. Perhaps that was the dark place, and I simply couldn't see anything. How long could even I sit in the darkness and stare out at nothing, never sleeping? Oh, I do not wish to think of that.
You don't know why you were there? What was Wilhelm doing in the deep roads?
It was a hobby of his, scavenging. One of the reasons he traveled so much is that he was looking for entrances into the deep roads, old places the dwarves had long forgotten. And then he would sneak down and search for magical treasure, before anyone was the wiser.
Wouldn't that have been dangerous? You don't know why you were there? Wouldn't that have been dangerous?
Indeed. He had spells that allowed him to remain hidden and move quickly, but he had no defense against the blight and worried constantly that he would get sick. If any darkspawn showed themselves, he fled. More often, he would have to fight other scavengers, dwarfs who had become tainted. In the end, it killed him. I mean, he found me there, right?
You don't know why you were there, though.
I think I remember a battle. It was long before, and then there was darkness. Bah, in short, no, I do not remember why I was there. It makes no difference.
Okay, let's move on.
On then.
Okay, so we talked to her a little bit. We're gonna go talk to, I think, Alistair, because we haven't really talked to him at all. So let's talk to him.
Something on your mind?
I have some questions.
Of course.
So you said this oral Eamon raised you.
Oh, did I say that? I meant that dogs raised me. Giant slobbering dogs from the Anderfells. A whole pack of them, in fact.
That's not what I remember you telling Flemeth. That would explain the smell. I thought you were raised by the Chantry. Really, that must have been tough for them. That one.
Well, they were flying dogs, you see. Surprisingly strict parents, too. And devout Andrastians to boot.
And these dogs sold you to the Chantry, I take it? That is what they say about Anders. I don't understand this one. It must be a reference to something in the game, but I still don't understand it. Raised by flying dogs. Devout dogs, I see. That one.
Or did I dream all of that? Funny the dreams you'll have when you sleep on a cold, hard ground, isn't it?
I dreamt of becoming a Grey Warden. Oh, wait. Is this going somewhere? I'm going to hit you. Very soon. Now. The first one. I dream of becoming a Grey Warden. Oh, wait.
Point taken. Let's see, how do I explain this? I'm a bastard. And before you make any smart comments, I mean the fatherless kind. My mother was a serving girl in Redcliffe Castle who died when I was very young. Our Lehman wasn't my father, but he took me in anyhow and put a roof over my head. He was good to me, and he didn't have to be. I respect the man, and I don't blame him anymore for sending me off to the Chantry once I was old enough.
Why did he send you off to the Chantry? He wasn't your father, so you know who is, but you blamed him then, I take it. So you do know who your father is?
I know who I was told was my father. He died even before my mother did, anyhow. It isn't important. Our Lehman eventually married a young woman from Orlais, which caused all sorts of problems between him and the king because it was so soon after the war. But he loved her. Anyhow, then you, Arlessa, resented the rumors which pegged me as his bastard. They weren't true, but of course they existed. The Arl didn't care, but she did. So off I was packed to the nearest monastery at age 10, just as well. The Arlessa made sure the castle wasn't a home to me by that point. She despised me.
You were probably luckier than most orphans. Wasn't it inappropriate for the Orl to raise an orphan? What an awful thing to do to a child. That sounds like a bunch of whining. I want to say that. But you were probably luckier than most orphans.
I suppose you're right. I wasn't raised as the Arl's son, though, if you're picturing that. I slept in hay, out in the stables, not on silk sheets. I remember I had an amulet with Andraste's holy symbol on it. The only thing I had of my mother's. I was so furious at being sent away, I tore it off and threw it at the wall and it shattered. Stupid, stupid thing to do. The Arl came by the monastery a few times to see how I was, but I was stubborn. I hated it there, and blamed him for everything. And eventually, he just stopped coming.
And you think the Orl will help us? Are you sure he isn't your father? You were young. Are you sure he isn't your father?
Yes, I'm quite sure. At any rate, I don't look anything like him, you'll see for yourself. Not that it stopped the rumors any. All I know is that the Arl is a good man, and well loved by the people. He also was King Caelan's uncle, so he has a personal motivation to see Loghain pay for what he did. Anyway, that's really all there is to the story.
Okay, so spoiler alert if you haven't seen or played this game before. So Alistair is Kaylin's half-brother. And if Eamon is Kaylin's uncle, then that means that Eamon is also Alistair's uncle. Or half-uncle, whatever. So he would sort of look like him. Unless it was all by marriage. But still related. Okay, maybe Alistair again. Yeah, let's talk to him.
Something on your mind?
I have some questions.
Of course.
What can a Templar do exactly? Tell me about the Grey Wardens. Why have you remained a Templar if you hate the Chantry? If you were raised by the Chantry, have you never... So, why have you remained a Templar if you hate the Chantry?
Have you seen the uniform? It's not only stylish, but well made. I'm a sucker for good tailoring.
I thought Templars wore heavy plate mostly. In that case, you should have become a mage. Oh, I don't think I've ever seen you wearing it. Not this again. Can you answer a simple question? In that case, you should have become a mage.
Oh, you aren't kidding. I think the Templar uniforms are as colourful as they are just so the Templars didn't feel dull in comparison. Last thing you want when you're about to take down some Maleficar out in the woods is to have him point and laugh at your taste in clothing, am I right?
And what's the real reason? Seems like that might happen anyway. So this is where you deflect questions with humor, right? Do all Templars make these jokes or just you? Seems like that might happen anyway.
Oh, ow, ow. Stab wounds to the pride are the worst. You don't really want to know about my being a Templar, do you? It's really quite boring.
I do really want to know, yes. Then make up something more exciting. You don't have to tell me then. I was just curious. Not if it's going to lead to more of your stupid jokes, no. Don't have to tell me then. I was just curious.
I suppose there's no harm in it then. Sorry if I was being perverse. I'm just not used to anyone asking me these things. The truth of the matter is that I did hate going to the monastery. The initiates from poor families thought I put on airs, while the noble ones called me a bastard and ignored me. I felt like Al Eamon had cast me off, unwanted, and I was determined to be bitter. But I took some solace in the training itself, I guess. I was actually quite good at it.
What did you enjoy about the training? Enjoyed hunting mages, did you? I think I understand. What did you enjoy about the training?
The education, mostly, but also the discipline. You need to have a disciplined mind in order to use the abilities we have. It was difficult, but rewarding. I never really felt at home anywhere, though, until I joined the Grey Wardens. And Duncan felt my Templar abilities might be useful for when we encountered darkspawn magic, so I kept it up. What about you? Do you have anywhere you consider home?
Not anymore, no. The Circle of Mage's Tower was my home for a long time. Home is wherever camp is. We're travelers now. That one.
We won't always be traveling like this, you know. Once the war is over, once the Blight is... well, a time will come when we'll have to think about having a real home again. Though that seems like a far ways off. And I suppose the Grey Wardens are gone for good. Either way.
Well, there's Grey Wardens elsewhere. You know, Alistair. That's assuming we even survive. They can be rebuilt. You can always keep traveling. This is not the time to think about it. They can be rebuilt.
I suppose you're right. We can create new Grey Wardens, but we'll never get back those we lost. I wonder if it would ever feel the same. Anyhow, now I've sidetracked us. We'd better get back to what we're supposed to be doing right now.
Yep, okay. Was there anything else I wanted to ask him? Maybe I should ask him to...
Something on your mind? Of course.
What can a Templar do exactly?
Essentially, they're trained to fight. The Chantry would tell you that the Templars exist simply to defend. But don't let them fool you. They're an army. The other main purpose for a Templar is, of course, to hunt mages. To that end, we train in talents that drain mana and disrupt spells.
Yeah, I know, I hate it. So couldn't others learn these talents so Templars could use magic themselves? Have you ever hunted many mages? Seems like the Templars could run the Chantry. Have you ever hunted mages?
No, I never actually became a full Templar. Duncan recruited me before I took my vows. I was only present during one harrowing. That was all I needed, too. I don't know how anyone could get through that. The girl they tested, she had a demon put inside her to see if she could resist. And she couldn't. We had to end it quickly. I have to say I didn't have much interest in becoming a Templar after that.
So could others learn these talents? So Templars use magic themselves? Seems like, okay. So Templars use magic themselves.
You could call it that, sure. The Chantry doesn't look on it the same way, however, since really our talents only work on mages. Against a regular person, I'm just a guy in a metal suit.
So could others learn these talents?
Perhaps, but there usually isn't much of an opportunity. The Chantry keeps a close rein on its Templars. We are given lyrium to help develop our magical talents, you see. Which means we become addicted. And since the Chantry controls the lyrium trade with the dwarves, well, I'm sure you can put two and two together.
So you were addicted to this lyrium? That's horrible. I can't believe they would do that. Sounds like an excellent method of control. So you were addicted to it?
Thankfully, no. You only start receiving lyrium once you've taken your vows. You don't need lyrium in order to learn the Templar talents. Lyrium just makes Templar's talents more effective, or so I was told. Maybe it doesn't even do that. The Chantry usually doesn't let their Templars get away, either, so they can spread their secrets. I'm a bit of an exception. Lucky me.
Okay, I think we've talked to him enough. We talked to Sten. We know his quest. Zevron, maybe? Yeah, let's talk to Zevron.
Here I am.
Care to answer some questions?
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
What does it take to become an assassin? Why did you want to leave the Crows exactly? Tell me a little about Antiva. What is your opinion of the Dalish? What's your opinion of the Dalish?
I know little enough of the Dalish other than the fact that my mother was one, or so I was told. She had fallen in love with an elven woodcutter and accompanied him back to the city, leaving her clan behind for good. And there, of course, the woodcutter died of some filthy disease and my mother was forced into prostitution to pay off his debts. All is tale in the book.
Zevron, that's horrible. Was the woodcutter your father? So you're an assassin and a son of a whore. Well, was the woodcutter your father?
How should I know? My mother was a whore, as you'll recall. None of the other elven boys in the whorehouse knew their fathers. I was not so unusual. I didn't know my mother either, of course. She died giving birth to me. My first victim, as it were. We were all raised communally by the whores. It was a happy enough existence, ignoring the occasional beating. Until eventually I was sold to the Crows. I brought a good price, so I hear.
So sorry for you, Zevron. What does this have to do with the Dalish, and yet you're oddly cheerful about it all? That one.
It could have been much worse. Shall I tell you about what happened to the other whorehouse boys who did not fetch a decent price with the Crows? Surely your life has not been so idyllic. People like you and I are not the product of happy lives of contentment, after all.
You can say that again. I'm nothing like you. You'd compare my life to yours. I guess you could say that again.
My original point is that my mother's Dalish nature was always a point of fascination for me. Through all the years of my crow training, the one thing of my mother's that I possessed was a pair of gloves. They were of Dalish make, I knew that much, and beautiful. I had to keep them hidden, of course, as we were not allowed such things. Eventually, they were discovered, and I never saw them again.
But how do you feel about the Dalish in general? Has there been no joy in your life at all? But you don't think of yourself as Dalish. But you don't think of yourself as Dalish.
Not at all. I think of myself as Antivan. Still, that did not stop me from running off to join a clan when I drew near Antiva City once. Naturally, the reality did not live up at all to the fantasies I had constructed as a boy, staring at those gloves. But such is life. Come, enough talk of the Dalish. Let us move on.
Okay.
Here I am.
Care to answer some questions?
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
Okay. Why did you want to leave the Crows exactly?
Well now, I imagine that's a very fair question. Being an assassin, after all, is a living, at least as far as such things go. I was simply never given the opportunity to choose another way. So, if that choice presents itself, why should I not seize upon it?
So you're simply bored? You didn't choose to join the Crows? But what would you rather do? What would you rather do?
Now that you mention it, I am not entirely certain. I was but a boy of 7 when I was purchased. For 3 sovereigns, I'm told. Which is a good price, considering I was all ribs and bone and didn't know the pommel of a dagger from the pointy end. The Crows buy all their assassins that way. Buy them young, raise them to know nothing else but murder. And if you do poorly in your training, you die.
And that system works. That sounds awful. So you had a hard life, big deal. And that system works?
Of course. You compete against your fellow assassins, and those who survive are rightfully proud of it. In Antiva, being a crow gets you respect. It gets you wealth. Gets you women. And men. Or whatever it is you might fancy. But that does not mean doing what is expected of you always. And it means being expendable. It's a cage, if a gilded cage. Pretty, but confining.
So what is it you fancy exactly? You sound like you've been spoiled. Why didn't you just leave then? Think I understand. Why didn't you just leave then?
And become the next mark for some up-and-coming crow? Not likely. The only way to leave is for them to think you're dead. And even then, you'd best be scarce. As for what I'll do in the future, presuming that there is one, I truly can't imagine. It might be interesting to go into business for myself, for a change. Far away from Antiva, of course. For now, naturally, I go where you go.
You think that will change, and when you get the first chance to betray me, won't the crows eventually find you? I'm happy to have you along. Won't the crows eventually find you?
Eventually can be a very, very long time, if one plays one's cards right. Come now, enough chit-chat. Talking about the crows summons them, you know. Any Antivan fishwife could tell you so.
Okay, one more time.
Here I am.
I wanna ask about Antiva. And if that's
this
not,
should be good. Go ahead.
if that's not in the next game, if they don't have Antiva in the next game, I'm gonna be so mad.
Oh, you wish to know about Antiva, do you? The only way to truly appreciate it would be to go there. It is a warm place, not cold and harsh like this Ferelden. In Antiva it rains often, but the flowers are always in bloom. Or so the saying goes.
And it has assassins. Don't you want to go back? You don't like Ferelden? You don't like Ferelden?
It is fine enough with its dogs and its mud. The people are spirited, even if they can't tell the difference between an assassin and a mere killer. I hail from the glorious Antiva city, home to the royal palace. It is a glittering gem amidst the sand, my Antiva city. Do you come from someplace comparable?
I'm not from any glittering gem, no. Of course my mother was better than any gem. Why you want to compare? Don't be an idiot. I'm not from any glittering gem, no.
No? That is too bad. If you were, then surely you would spend as much time boasting about it as I do. You know what is most odd? We speak of my homeland, and for all its wine and its dark-haired beauties and the lilo flutes of the minstrels, I miss the leather the most.
Now that is odd. Is that some kind of euphemism? That this I have to hear. This I have to hear.
I mean the smell. For years, I lived in a tiny apartment near Antiva City's leather-making district, in a building where the crows stored their youngest recruits, packed in like crates. I grew accustomed to the stench, even though the humans complained of it constantly. To this day, the smell of fresh leather is what reminds me most of home, more than anything else.
You sound like you've been away from home forever. That's a little bizarre, there's leather everywhere. Really, you smell a cesspool and think of home? Huh. You sound like you've been away from home forever.
Oh, not so long, I know. It is my first time away from Antiva, however, and the thought of never returning makes me think of it constantly. Before I left, I was tempted to spend what little coin I possessed on leather boots I spotted in a store window. Finest Antivan leather. Perfect craftsmanship. But I was a fool to leave them. I thought, Zevran, you can buy them when you return as a reward for a job well done. More the fool I, no?
Your home is still there, Zevran? I asked you about Antiva, not your leather fetish. The job being killing me, right? No Antivan boots for you. Your home is still in Antiva, Zevran.
True, and it's a comforting thought. One simply never knows what is to come next. How could I have suspected I would end up defeated by a handsome Grey Warden? A man who then spares my life? I could not.
Is that supposed to be flattery? Handsome, everyone makes mistakes. You need to make the most where you are. Don't make me change my mind. Everyone makes mistakes.
Even Grey Wardens who spare the lives of assassins? Understood. Now, if it is all the same to you, I would prefer not to speak more of Antiva. It makes me wistful and hungry for a proper meal.
Okay. Yeah, if they don't let us go to Antiva in the next game, I'm going to be so mad. Oh, I probably should put some clothes on Liliana. I took them off of her to put on Zevran. Let's you can wear these. And this. There you go. Okay. Ogren. I want to talk to Ogren.
Come to talk to old Ogren, have you? Don't know why.
What's wrong, Ogren? I'd like to know more about you. Can you teach me to fight like you? Not if you're going to act like a depressed child. What's wrong, Ogren?
Nothing. I'm fine. Just, I got a hornet in my eye is all. Did you want to talk about something?
I'd like to know more about you. Okay, yeah, that one.
What about?
Are you sure you're fine with what happened with Branka? How do you like the surface? Do you miss Orzammar? What is it like to be a warrior in Orzammar? That one.
You get a sword or an axe, and are told to go out and defend your city. It's the best thing in the world. That is until you try to live in the city you saved.
What do you mean? It seemed like a pretty easy place to live. I see, let's talk about something else. It kind of seemed like an easy place to live.
Sure, if you like following orders from some shaper with his head so far up his own arse he can't see out his neck. I mean, they train you to kill, teach you to harness your rage at the first noise you hear, then try to set 100 sodding rules about it. Like those provings. Ancestors show their favor through the strongest arm, right? So why so many rules saying how to fight and when you win and not to bloody kill? Killing's what swords are for.
Fighting without killing is a skill of a true warrior. I see what you mean. Why didn't they give you blunted weapons? That one.
You can kill with blunted weapons, Warden. Well, maybe you can't. This makes me cranky. Don't you have any other inane questions?
Well, are you sure you're fine with what happened to Branka?
Oh, sure. I'm fine with it. I mean, she was a real firebrand between the sheets, but a bit soft in the skull, you know what I mean? Explains why she left, anyway.
You're handling this well, so you're not broken up over it. I imagine she wasn't crazy when she left. Why would she have it leave a prize bull like yourself? Good, I need you ready to fight, not pining over lost love. So why would she leave a prize bull like you?
Woman was a few columns short of a haul, you know? I mean, she leaves me and flits about with that water-tart Hespith. What's she got that I don't? Just the thought of the two of them together, kissing and licking and intertwined on the floor of the deep roads. I'm just gonna go back to the tent for a moment. Excuse me.
Okay. Oh my god.
Just leave me alone, Warden. Seriously.
Why? Are you upset about something? I'd like to know more about you. Can you teach me to fight like you do? Sure, Ogren. We'll talk another time. Why? Are you upset about something?
Upset? Ugh. I don't get upset. I get drunk. Did you want to talk about something?
Yeah, I want to know more about you.
What about?
So how do you like the surface so far?
It's sodding great. At first I was a little queasy with all that air, but there's just so much of it. No one has any idea who you are or what you're doing. And the ale. Oh, who'd have thought? Ale made with grain. Aye, the surface is great. It's like a big, bright world of filth without a ceiling. My kind of place. Hey, let's go find something to kill, huh? All this talk makes my hands twitchy.
Okay, Ogren, you got it. So I want to give some gifts first, before I do anything else. Does Morrigan have anything to say? I doubt it. We pretty much already talked to her about everything.
So, full of questions, are you?
I could ask her that. Do you really want your mother dead?
I can see why you might ask this, despite knowing the fate that she has in store for me. The truth is that no, under normal circumstances, of course, I would not turn against my mother so. For all that she is not the picture of maternal love, I mean her no ill will. But Flemeth herself taught me long ago, once you know your enemy, strike quickly and without mercy. Were our positions reversed, she would no doubt do exactly the same.
Huh. But what if this is a misunderstanding? There must be some other way to stop this. And what would you do if I didn't help you? That is rather cold and heartless. I agree with you. This is necessary. What if this is a misunderstanding?
I know my mother well. I knew from the moment I read that tome that this is what she had intended from the start. Old questions were suddenly answered. You can have doubt if you wish. I have none.
Okay, I agree with you. This is necessary.
Good. Then please, end this waiting and deal with her as soon as you can. This is driving me nearly mad.
Sorry. I'm not ready yet, though. Just because, you know, you're my girlfriend or whatever, doesn't mean you can order me around. Okay, I want to get some gifts. We're gonna need people. Because we might get a cutscene or something, so... Wynn...
Yes.
Zevron...
Yes.
And... Alistair, let's go.
Yes.
I should have sold some stuff. Okay, I don't think we're gonna have a fight. Awesome. Okay, so I'll be back because I'm gonna sell some stuff and get most of the gifts. So I'll be back. Okay, so we're back in camp, and I have all the gifts that we've ever gotten, and I'm gonna start giving them out. I guess starting with Zevron, since he's here. I also got all of this stuff because I can give our army these, and I think he gives you XP. So, that's good. Okay, you get this.
You have excellent taste.
And... Dalish gloves, he gets those as well. Okay, that's all I have for him. Ogren, you get all the alcohol. That's alcohol, right? Yeah.
By my ancestors, this is a wonderful gift!
And this.
By my ancestors, this is a wonderful gift!
And this.
That looks fine indeed.
And this.
That looks fine indeed.
And this. And this.
That looks fine indeed.
Okay, that's all I have for him right now. Oh wait, here.
That looks fine indeed.
I know it's going down every time I give him one, but I don't care. If I really need to boost it all the way, I'll just go get the feast day gift for him. Okay, that's it for him. Shale, I have a bunch of gems for you.
Very nice indeed.
Here you go.
Very nice indeed.
Here you go.
Very nice indeed.
Oh, that's another one. Here you go.
That looks fine indeed.
Okay. And then... When, I'm not sure if I have anything for you. You like books, right? Oh, right here. Okay, here.
Oh, marvelous.
And you like wine too, don't you?
Oh, marvelous.
There you
Oh,
go.
marvelous.
And then, Liliana, you can take this
Oh, how dear of you. Thank you so much.
and this.
Oh, how dear of you. Thank you so much.
And that's a special gift for her. Sten, you like this
Unexpected. Thank you.
and this.
Unexpected. Thank you.
Okay. And then Alistair, you like this.
Is that for me? Really? Wow. Wow.
And then I think these bracelets and this ring are just like earrings. I think they're just like common gifts that you could give to anybody, but I'm not sure. I think Zevron likes these.
How nice.
No. Okay. Well, anyways. Okay, I want to give Morrigan this golden mirror.
What have you there? A mirror? It is just the same as the mirror which Flemeth smashed on the ground so long ago. It is incredible that you found one so like it. I am uncertain what to say. You must wish something in return, certainly.
Don't be ridiculous. It's a gift, Morgan. It's simply a present for a beautiful woman. You could be a little nicer, I suppose. You could repay me for it. It's simply a gift, or it's simply a present for a beautiful woman.
I have never received a gift. Not one that did not also come with a price attached. Perhaps there is a price to pay yet, hmm? If so, 'tis deserved. Thank you. Truly.
So let's talk to, Wynn, I think. I think we gave all the gifts. No, we still have the Dalish gloves to give to Zevron. There we go. Right there. Here.
Gloves? You're giving me gloves? What for?
They're Dalish gloves, like your mother's. If you don't want it, give it back. Now that's gratitude for you. They're Dalish gloves, like your mother's.
Maker's breath. You're right. It is like my mother's. The leather was less thick, and it had more embroidery, but these are very close, and quite handsome.
It was nothing, you're welcome, it was not cheap. It was nothing.
Still, I appreciate the fact that you even thought of me. No one has simply given me a gift before. Thank you.
No problem, Zevron. Okay, I want to talk to Wynne a little bit.
Oh, it's been a long day. Rest would be welcome.
Are you alright? Yes, you should get some rest. Starting to slow down a little, are we? That one.
I'm just feeling a little weary is all. As you may have noticed, I'm no spring chicken.
No, you're a person. There's still some life in those old bones, I bet. It's a little hard to miss, yes. You are very springy for your age, though. That one.
Thank you. You're very kind to say so. But in all honesty, I do not know how many years I have left in me. I have lived for such a long time. But there is always something else to do. And I have to keep going in order to do it. I think I will be glad when I am done.
I'm sure you'll be kicking around for years yet. Hey, don't say those things. We still need you. You're not allowed to be done quite yet. I'm sure you'll be kicking around for years yet.
Oh, I don't know. I really don't.
Okay, more.
Have you encountered many abominations, apart from the ones in the Circle Tower?
No, the ones in the tower were the first I've ever seen. Why do you ask? Well, I heard many stories. No, the circle ones... The ones in the tower are the first I've ever seen.
The first time I saw an abomination, my blood turned to ice. It was months before the nightmares stopped. It was the knowledge that I could easily become one of them that frightened me the most.
Seeing the monster that you could be is unsettling, yes. You are too easily perturbed then. You're a great mage, you would never become an abomination. But it is that knowledge that drives you to be cautious. That one.
One slip. All it takes is one slip, and everything you are is simply gone. Replaced by madness. And there is no turning back, or at least that's what they say.
You have doubts? The only way to get rid of an abomination is to kill it. You have doubts?
Of late, I have begun to wonder if there is any way an abomination can be cured. Or if a mage could be so possessed and still retain their sanity, their humanity.
If one retains one's humanity, one is not an abomination. We cannot let them be simply because they might get better. Why do you care so much about this anyway? So if a person is still a person, like, and not just killing everything it sees, then it's not an abomination.
Yes, it is madness and cruelty that define abominations. If those are lacking, if the mage remembers the person they truly are, then they are not an abomination. I never saw that. Thank you for showing me another way of looking at it.
No problem, Wynne.
I must ask, what does being a Grey Warden mean to you?
It means I've been chosen to do something important. Glory and honor on the battlefield. I suppose it's about killing as many darkspawn as possible. It means everyone needs to show me some respect. I don't know. Does it have to mean something? I don't know. Maybe does it have to mean something?
I just wanted to know what you thought being a Grey Warden was about. Ultimately, being a Grey Warden is about serving others. About serving all people, whether elves or dwarves or men.
But the Grey Warden's bow to no one. Don't quite understand. You mean to say I serve as a protector? I serve no one, and don't you forget that. You mean to say I serve as a protector?
As a Grey Warden, you are a guardian of men, and you guard them because their continued existence is more important than you are. Thus it is you who serves, not they.
I will keep that in mind. I suppose that makes sense. I wish I could be served instead.
Oh, but you are. Your king serves you, does he not? A good king. A true king who cares for his land. Uses his power to rule firmly but fairly. He serves his people first and foremost. The king who does not do this, who believes that he is entitled to his power, who abuses it and uses it for his own means, is a tyrant.
So in a way, having power combines you. Many kings are tyrants. I don't want power, I never wanted it. If I'm strong enough to take power, then I deserve it. Many kings are tyrants.
And the country suffers for it. If you live apart from others, and your actions affect only you, then you may do as you wish. But if you have power, influence, and strength, your every action will be as a drop of water in a clear, still pond. The drop causes ripples, and ripples spread. Think of how far they will go, how wide they will become, how will they affect the pond. But I've lectured enough for today. I should stop before I wear out my welcome.
Okay, one more time.
You're quite taken with each other, aren't you?
Oh, I don't see how this concerns you. You know about Morgan and me? Yes, quite. It's just for fun. You know about Morgan and me.
Well, she's hardly discreet. The way she looks at you, it's as though she's completely forgotten there's anything of you above the waist.
So, what were you going to say about us? That's part of her charm. There's a lot more of me below the waist. There's a lot more of me below the waist.
Oh, sweet maker. Is a little decorum too much to ask?
I had to. Sorry. Well, it's true. Haha, it's so easy to get to you. Sorry.
Moving along now, I've noticed your blossoming relationship, and I wanted to ask you where you thought it was going. She is a cunning woman, a maleficar. She will use you for her own ends.
There's more to us than that. You don't know her, it's not your right to judge. No, I trust Morgan. She can certainly try, but she will fail. I trust Morgan.
I am telling you what I see and what my instincts tell me. And even if the feelings you share are genuine, this affair may not be the best thing for either of you. You are a Grey Warden. You have responsibilities which supersede your personal desires.
I can handle my responsibilities and my relationships. I'm a human being with emotions, not just a Grey Warden. Can't you just shut up about responsibility for a second? I can handle my responsibilities and my relationships.
Love is ultimately selfish. It demands that one be devoted to a single person who may fully occupy one's mind and heart to the exclusion of all else. A Grey Warden cannot afford to be selfish. You may be forced to make a choice between saving your love and saving everyone else. And then what would you do?
You're making things sound more dire than they are. I don't want to have to make that choice. What am I supposed to do? Tell Morgan to go away? Keep your nose out of this. What am I supposed to do? Tell Morgan to go away?
You may have to save one or both of you unnecessary anguish later on.
I'm not giving up on what we have, no matter what you say. What do you know of love? You've never left this circle. So I should inflict pain now to avoid it later. Great logic. I know what's best for us, not you. I know what's best for us, not you.
I have given my advice. Do with it what you will.
I will. I will throw it in the garbage bin. Okay, I am done talking. So this is where I'm going to say goodbye, YouTube. Thank you guys so much for watching. In the next one, I'll be doing Return to Oscar. I will be taking Wynn, Alistair, and Zevran. But thank you guys so much for watching again. I hope you have a very nice day, and bye for now.